Welcome back to the second part. So if you haven't seen the first part, there'll be a card go across the screen fairly soon, so you can go back to that video. We're revamping our old school type radiator with the Craig and Rose Artisan, and this is the rust effect. Don't know how we're going to get on with that. A little bit of a rookie mistake in the first video. I did say that the actual first coat wasn't going on very well. I didn't mix it enough. I did say that we was expecting it to be a lot darker. So make sure, depending on how long this tin's been on the shelf, you mix it thoroughly. By the time I'd got part way around, when we finished recording, I opened the lid again and putting the brush in, it brought darker up, so I stirred it even more. So today we're going to be putting on the Craig and Rose Artisan, and this is the rust effect activator. So when we put this on, we'll end up hopefully getting a rust effect. Now be warned, I'm pre-emptying this. I'll wash everything out in water into the sink, but I'm going to wash the activator somewhere else, because if there's any of this in the sink, it might end up turning to rust and spoiling. We've got a ceramic sink, the old bell staff, so we don't want that spoiled too much. So first of all, I'm just going to show you a few things that the wife has done that you saw in the first video, and then I'll set the camera up, because this can take hours to react, and hopefully you'll get to see exactly what's going on. And some of the cards that go across the screen will be from previous DIY videos. So let's have a little look at what Mrs. King has done. So this is the chair that we did, changed the colour scheme, new seat covering there, and here's the finished object from the stool. Now this is more of a pine effect legs, and of course the material was very old, but that now blends really nice in the conservatory. There's somewhere to sit to put our shoes on. Now she did want something that we could have a footstool in here. This is the slightly bigger one, the one she bought back, and there are the legs now, matching the legs nearly to what's in this room, in the front room, in the fire room where we've got the fire. And of course this is where the radiator has got to be put back on, but that's turned out really well. We're not experts. This is the best side. I don't want to see the worst side, but you know, we take the legs off and we've put them back on, and we've stapled the new covering on and taken off as much material as we needed. But that now matches some of the other things in the room, curtains and the lampshade and the wallpaper and the rug. That's what Mrs. K says anyway. She's the designer, I'm just the doer. And the laundry basket is now in place. I won't show you what's in there, but that sits nicely in that corner. And very little money, and we've reused some of the paint we had surplus. And there's that chair, and the little bits of yellowy orange match some of the wallpaper, so she's nice and happy. Hello. And we've almost finished in the dining room now, just a little bit of work to do on this door on the left, and everything does blend in really nice. That's another one of the wife's projects, and even the dog basket blends in with the wallpaper. I wouldn't want too many beers looking at that. Don't tell Mrs. K. So because we've messed up a little bit on the two coats underneath, hopefully it'll turn out okay. If not, well, we'll start again. And this the actual activator goes on in two parts, and it's all about humidity, the wetness, you know, rust forms because of the moisture, so that they've created this. And this is for outside as well as inside, but mainly like walls and other features that you want to look rusty. So let's give it a whirl, and I'll show you just applying it, similar to, again, the suede paint. Different brush strokes. I'm normally used to keeping the brush strokes correct, but on this, like suede paint, you have to move it about to get the desired effect. I don't think it's desired effect, I think you get what you get, however you've put it on and what moisture is in the air. So it's all an experiment, and I hope this helps somebody do a better job than perhaps we're going to do. That's all about sharing. Please follow all the instructions and health and safety advice. Just make sure you adhere to all that, and it needs to be in a well ventilated room. So I'm going to be opening all the windows and door at the moment, even though it is raining. You can probably tell, because it does say it should be outside. Again, follow all the instructions. Seems to be drying quite quickly, so I'll bring you back after a while. So half an hour in, it's all on. A few tips on what I've found. This activator is like water, and I've actually got cardboard on the floor, so any that does dribble down, I've been able to salvage and reuse. Plus, if you just use cloths, it'll soak through and maybe mark the surface. Like I say, this is mainly and predominantly for outside on walls, etc., but we're using it on our radiator. So I'm just going to bring you back in another half an hour, and hopefully I can see a difference whether you can or not. So we're a couple of hours in, and it's already started to turn. Be very careful when using a brush. It does flick everywhere, so you've got to be ultra careful. So it says spray it to accelerate it, so I'm just going to do it in odd places. Just to see if we can get a little bit of different on it. So we're experimenting with this. We'll see what happens. Now I'm going to leave this running all night. If it does go off, apologies, but I will show the radiator back in place, and on the DIY tour of our house with all the bits and bobs we're doing, hints and tips on DIY. So we'll leave it at that, and hopefully we'll be back so that I can put another coat on first thing in the morning. Well, this is the following evening. It was far too dark and still raining, so what a difference 48 hours makes. And Mrs. K is happy with the result. I'm having to hold it close because again, the light is very difficult, but we are very pleased with this, and I'll show it in place on the radiator where it lives on the tour of the house of our DIY hacks, etc. So I hope everyone or anyone that wants to try this way of making things look like rust. The wife wants to do that with the concrete ball. It's losing its greenness, so I'm going to do that. I'll show you that as well in the another DIY video. But other than that, yeah, we're happy. Well, Mrs. K's happy. Mrs. K's happy, I'm happy. So just a quick recap. Make sure we stir the pot fully, especially if it's been standing a long time. We don't know that. That's where I made a little mistake. We've still got the result we wanted. The actual activator is like water. When you're brushing it in different ways, it does flick off your brush. Cardboard, ideal. Material, no, because it will soak through the material and maybe get on the floor. Don't want any problems with the wife or partner, do we? And when it drips onto there, you can dip your brush back in it and fire it back onto whatever you're painting. But this, if this was outside, it would get better and better. And the wife said during the day, it's maturing, shall we say. So it may be even better next time you get to see it. But as always, read the instructions thoroughly. Don't skimp with this type of material. Take care, my friends. Hope you've enjoyed this. On the end screen there'll be some other videos, especially the gardening. If you're interested in gardening, then why not pop along and see what we get up to there. Till next time, my friends. As always, ta-ra for now.